here I am. You got to see some of these buildings. I'll tell you the story here in another Quattro Minuti con Casanova. We are in Calle delle Muneghe, which is the sort of Venetian dialect word for the nuns, and there was actually a convent right here, so that's what the street was named for. We are here because this was the home of Casanova's grandmother. Her name was Marzia Farussi. She was the mother of Casanova's mother. And she was a very, very important person in Casanova's life. She, in many ways, was more of a mother to him than Casanova's own mother, Zanetta. Because Zanetta was an actress, it was really important for her to be traveling around Europe and England and many, many different places as an actress. And even when Zanetta was here in Venice, she was busy acting in the plays here. She was really quite a superstar. And in fact, Carlo Goldoni wrote a play just for her that really made her into a superstar. So it was Marzia Farussi, Casanova's grandmother, who mothered him in many, many ways and really gave him unconditional love. There's some interesting background I'll try to explain about this location. In the research I did, it said that 2993 is the location of the house of Marzia Farussi. But we have to understand that this is a few hundred years ago, and we see the outside of the building, which looks pretty close to what it looked like then. Maybe some doors and windows are a little different. But back in that time, the inside of these buildings was really quite different. The apartments were divided up in different ways. So though we can say, oh, this is the house of the grandmother, that's not exactly true because the interior is quite different. And you know, the rooms are different now than they were back then. So I just want to explain that part. There is also controversy about this location because, especially if you're a sort of a Casanova hunter, you may have seen that nearby on the Calle Malipiero, there's a plaque on the wall that said Casanova was born on that street, on Calle Malipiero. That may be true. There's a house there where Casanova lived, but there is also some controversy and some research that leads to a theory that Casanova was really born in this house. So the theory is from Helmut Watzlawick, who researched the cadastrals. He researched into you know, why Marzia was living here. She was a widow and she was granted this housing for this time. And you know, like many young families, they probably couldn't afford the 80 ducats rent on the house on Calle Malipiero. So probably in the early years of their marriage, the Casanova family was living here with mom. And Casanova was born very early in that marriage and was probably born here. We know for sure that he lived here with his grandmother quite a bit and, you know, played here, and she cooked for him and she loved him and cared for him very much. So this is definitely a home, an important home in the childhood of Casanova. Maybe the birth home, probably the birth home. It's really hard to say for sure. There just are no documents that are, you know, like the smoking gun that says that this is for sure. Casanova loved his grandmother very much. He said that this house was one that belonged to her and in which she wished to die because her husband had died there. So, you know, he thought very much of her love for her husband as well. He also said about her that she was that excellent woman who loved me unfailingly to the day of her death. So again, he shows much love for her, and really she gave him the first unconditional love of his